The surprise of this tiny home is not that it is small, it is that the whole place feels carefully expanded by wood, glass, and sunlight. From the outside, the cabin holds a quiet rustic shape, but every edge has been refined until it feels more like a compact retreat than a compromise. The warm cedar shell, black-framed windows, and clean garden path set up one clear question. How much comfort can a very small house hold when every surface is asked to do real work? As the tour moves inside, the answer comes through framed views, built-in storage, quiet material repetition, and rooms that borrow space from the light. Southwest. The best place to begin is before the door opens, where the scale of the house and the softness of its setting meet. The exterior works because it does not try to make the tiny house look larger than it is. Instead, the cedar volume sits low and composed, with the roof overhang making the entry feel protected before the plan even begins. The black window frames sharpen the rustic timber, while the gravel path keeps the arrival simple and deliberate. There is no oversized gesture here, the memorable move is the balance between a compact form and a landscape that gives it breathing room. That restraint becomes important at the threshold, where the house starts using every inch with more confidence. Inside, the first view is controlled rather than immediate, and that makes the living area feel discovered. The entry wall carries storage, coat space, and a slim bench, but it is detailed as part of the architecture instead of a separate utility zone. Then the ceiling lifts into warm oak, the sofa settles under the window, and the room starts borrowing volume from the view outside. The important trick is not hiding the smallness, it is giving the eye enough beautiful places to rest. That is why the next move, the kitchen, stays visually quiet even while it does most of the work. Notice how the window is treated almost like furniture. It gives the sofa a reason to be exactly where it is, and it turns the garden into the room's largest artwork. In a tiny home, that kind of placement matters more than another decorative object. The kitchen is narrow, but it avoids feeling like a corridor by keeping the strongest materials continuous. Oak cabinetry runs cleanly into the ceiling plane, the stone counter adds weight, and the black details keep the lines crisp. The dining ledge is small on purpose, because it is positioned where morning light and the garden view do the generous part. What makes the space feel expensive is not excess storage on display, but the calm absence of visual noise. From here, the house begins to show how private spaces can stay intimate without feeling closed in. The sleeping loft changes the tempo of the tiny home. Below, the plan is open and practical. Above, the pitched timber ceiling makes the room feel more protected, almost tucked into the roof. A black-framed skylight brings sunlight down to the bed without taking wall space away from storage. The palette stays familiar, but the scale becomes softer: white linen, warm oak, a small shelf, and just enough breathing room around the mattress. It is a reminder that comfort in a tiny house often comes from editing, not adding. The stair is not treated as leftover circulation. Its rail, treads, and storage edges become a vertical piece of furniture that explains how the house is organized. That is the difference between a small plan that feels improvised and one that feels resolved. The bathroom proves how much the material palette is carrying the whole home. Honed charcoal stone gives the room a grounded base, while lime plaster keeps the walls soft enough to catch daylight. Instead of squeezing in too many features, the design chooses a generous shower, precise storage, and a mirror that doubles the window light. The result feels spa-like because everything visible has a reason to be visible. After that quiet compression, the deck outside becomes the release the house has been preparing for. deck is where the tiny home stops feeling contained by its walls. Sliding glass opens the living area toward a cedar platform, a pair of low chairs, and planting that feels close without crowding the facade. This is not a large outdoor room, but it is placed exactly where the afternoon light makes it useful. The garden does more than decorate the edges, it extends the sight lines, cools the timber palette, and gives the small plant a changing backdrop. By dusk, the house has one final shift to make, from sunlit cabin to warm lantern. The deck also protects the interior from feeling too precious. It gives the sofa, the kitchen, and the entry a casual destination just beyond the glass. That small exterior pause is what makes the compact plan feel livable for more than a weekend. At dusk, the same tiny footprint reads in a completely different way. The glass that pulled daylight inside now lets the oak, linen, and stone glow back into the garden. This is where the rustic character feels most refined, because the warmth comes from proportion and restraint rather than heavy decoration. The house has used every design decision twice, once for function, and once for atmosphere. That is the final payoff of this small home, a place that feels modest in scale but complete in feeling. What stays with this tiny home is not one oversized feature, but the consistency of its choices. Wood warms the shell, glass stretches the rooms, stone gives the compact plan weight, and the garden keeps every view alive. For a small house, that is the real luxury. Nothing feels accidental, and nothing has to shout.